Okay, here's our video today on solving radical equations. I almost said expressions. Radical equations. This is part one. There's many parts to this. We'll start simple. So we should all know what a radical is, just in case you don't know. Let's just find a pen, right? And we know the radical sign, right? You might think of that as a square root sign, right? Like the square root of 25, we know, is plus minus 5 because negative 5 works also times negative 5 is also 25, right? And we can also use cube roots, like the cube root of 8. What do you think? It's 2. And it's only 2, right? Because 2 times 2 times 2, different 2's there, equals 8, right? But negative wouldn't work on that. So let's look at an equation. Let's get a clear page. And let's start with one. What if we had 2 and then we had the square root of 3x plus 8. Fix that square root, the radical sign. And we said minus 4 equals, let's say, 8. So it's just doing algebra here. We're going to get rid of this negative 4, this minus 4, by adding it. And remember, whatever you do to one side, you know this, you have to do to the other side. And now we're going to have 2 and the square root of 3x plus 8. Fix that radical again, equals 12. And what do you think we do next? Divide out that 2. Divide this 2 out. Get at it. Get out of there, 2. And now we have the square root of 3x plus 8 equals 6. Now when you see these radicals, if you want to clear a radical, just square root it. Let's change the color. So with this right here, here's the arrow, we're going to square root it. And again, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So when you square root a radical, it's just going to become, the radical sign goes away, it's just 3x plus 8 equals 36, and just do some algebra here. Just minus the 8 on both sides. Let's bring a big arrow over here. And then we're left with 3x, because the 8's gone, equals 28. If we divide 3 on both sides, we're going to get, let's bring another arrow over here, and change the color for the answer. So what's the answer? Well, it's 9 and 1/3, or 28 over 3. That's what x is. So let's do a simpler one. Let's find another one. Let's get one where we have x as just an integer, not a mixed number. Let's just fix this a little bit, clear this out, find the clear sign somewhere, clear it all out. Maybe we'll stick with yellow. So what if I had 2, same thing, but now instead I'll put a 4 in there. 4x plus 8 minus 4 equals 8. So why don't you try that? Pause if you need to. So again, we're going to add the 4 on both sides. And we're going to have 2, 4x plus 8 equals 12, just like we did before. Now what? Now what should we do? Exactly, get rid of that 2, divide it out, whatever you do to one side, do to the other. Big thing in algebra. And then we have the square root of 4x plus 8, and it equals 6. And again, remember, we want to clear out this radical sign by square rooting it. Square root it. And again, whatever you do to one side, do to the other. And when you square root that, you're going to get 4x plus 8 equals 36. And we minus the 8 on both sides. Get a big arrow. 4x plus 8 equals what? What do you think it is? 28, right? Well, actually, not x, just 4x. We already got rid of the 8. Always double check your work. And if you divide 4 on both sides, we see x equals 7. Now what you should do is always double check. Your teacher will probably ask you to double check, or your professor, or wherever you are, double check by just plugging in the x, right? So if we plug in the x here, what will we get? So let's do that. Let's clear this out, and we'll find if we can find the clear all button. So we said 2, and then we have the square root, 4 times 7, because we said x was 7, plus 8 minus 4 equals 8. And we're just doing algebra here. So if we had 2, and now we're going to have 28 plus 8, and we know that's 36. And we should get rid of the 4, so we're going to get to 12 because we're adding 4 on both sides. And we know the square root of 36 is 6, so we'll have 2 times 6 equals 12. And does it? Yes, 12 equals 12. It checks out. And make sure you check your work. Okay, I'll give you one here. Let's erase this, clear it all out. And let's say we had the square root of 139 plus 5. Fix that plus. Fix the radical. Plus 1 equals negative 11. See if you can do that. See what you get. I'll just pause the tape in a minute. Well, you should pause the tape, actually. And if you did, let's do it again. We got to get rid of that plus 1 by minusing it. Right? And now we have the square root of 139 plus 5 equals negative 12. And if we added this, right over here, if we added that, we're going to get the square root of 144 equals negative 12. And you can see the problem already. Because the square root of 144 is 12, and 12 cannot equal negative 12. So even though the math is right, the solution is wrong. So you would get your credit, but you have to say, make sure you say, no solution. And that happens in math. There are no solutions. So we'll continue with our radicals in the next video.